I want to start off by saying I really wanted to like this game. Matter of fact, from seeing all of the gameplay from it, when I booted it up, I really thought I was going to. Gotham Knights is deceiving. Beneath the insanely cool looking exterior is an empty, grindy shell of an overly complicated mess that is just not worth full price. It is unfortunate, and I know what you're thinking. I have seen gameplay of this and it looks really awesome, really fun. I don't know why people are rating this game so low. That was me before wasting my money and time playing through this shit stain. In order to attempt to do this game justice and give it the fair shot that it doesn't deserve, I need to highlight the great and the ugly. It is a pieced together Frankenstein of a game in which some parts are diamonds and others were dug out of last week's garbage. As always, let's break this down. I'm going to be talking about the story, setting, gameplay, graphics, and performance. Starting off with the story, let's cover the shiny diamond hidden in this turd ball of a game. Throughout your time in Gotham, no matter which character you choose to play as, you will get tidbits of lore introduced in clever ways.
I'm dead.
From small cutscenes unique to each character, giving you background stories and charming dialogue, to notes, signs, and other paraphernalia scattered around the world for you to read, to the small quips of dialogue from each character triggered by nearby occurrences. These lore injects were a welcome addition to the overall experience. The cutscenes throughout the game were well made and well written, but unfortunately the overall story was messy. It was predictable and short. The only reason the game feels long is because in between story missions, the game forces you to do chores. That's right, chores. I'll cover that in more detail later on in the video. Wrapping up my thoughts of the story, it definitely appeals more to people that love Batman, that love Gotham, and love the lore behind it all. The plot is unfortunately weak, and there's no memorable moments or big reveals because of its simplicity and predictability. If you're a big Gotham nerd like myself and are interested in seeing what this game has to offer, I highly recommend watching a YouTube video that pieces together the story for you so that you don't have to deal with all the issues with the gameplay that I'm about to go over right now. First, let's do an overview of the setup. You have the Belfry, which is a hub area where you craft, upgrade, and customize gear, select your characters, choose upgrades for your skill tree, and progress through the story. From here, you go out and do what's called patrols. These patrols only happen at night and give you access to Gotham's open world. While out on patrols, you are able to participate in random encounters and challenges called premeditated crimes, both of which are fluff. There are maybe 4 different types of missions where you repeat over and over and over and over, each one only slightly different from the last. They didn't add sustainable value to the enjoyment of the story, and the framework, meaning how everything was set up, was overly complicated and confusing as hell. The game does a poor job at explaining how it all works, and although I'm tempted to sit here and explain it to you, I'm not recommending you play this game, so there really is no point. The real point is there is no true progression. There is no satisfaction in the gameplay. There's only overly complicated RPG elements that are shoved down your throat with repetitive missions in order to make the game seem longer than it really is. This is a game that could have thrived with better implementations of RPG mechanics, or honestly, no RPG elements whatsoever. Traversal in this game was a pain. I almost wish they hadn't made the map so large. In the beginning, before you unlock other means of travel, zipping around was a pain in the ass. Getting the suit that allowed you to get around faster by different methods depending on your character was a pain in the ass. Not only that, but you had to do it separately with each character. After unlocking Robin's faster travel method, I gave up trying for the rest because that's right, it's a pain in the ass. Then there is the bat cycle. It went really slow, but much like the entirety of this game, tried to deceive you into thinking it was going fast with all of these speedy looking graphical additions. Oh boy, look at how the lights are distorted, I must be going really fast. The driving mechanics were not polished and felt awkward. The big push for this game was being able to pick between 4 characters, all with unique styles of combat. For the most part, each character does feel very different, but unfortunately the combat overall feels very bland and one note. Even after upgrading a character to get the movesets that I thought would add a sense of fun to the combat, the enemies feel like damage sponges. Long combat sessions are not necessarily satisfying. There's nothing about the dodging at the right time or getting perfect hits that made me want to continue to play, even with spurts of epic moments sprinkled into fights. Matter of fact, it made me sad when I got to experience these epic moments because it was a tease of how great this game really could have been. With each introduction of a new enemy, I was not excited for a new challenge, but rather dreaded the new annoying mechanic that I had to leap out of the way from. Co-op was done right in this game. Each person has full reign to explore whatever part of the city they want, and fighting alongside another made the game more exciting. Unfortunately, it did not fix all of the combat issues I mentioned before. Even with its not so exciting story, this game could have been pretty great if they nailed the combat, but that just wasn't the case. Moving on to graphics and performance. Not gonna hit too hard on the graphics because you can make your own deductions by watching to see whether or not you like the way the game looks. The costume designs are pretty sick, and Gotham City aesthetics were nailed. The devs did a great job at catching the feel of the city. The only real complaint about the map was its lack of of diversity. There was no defining looks in each of the different areas to make it feel like I was in a different part of the map. Overall though, this game is very pretty. The combination of dark areas with subtle lighting was done really well. Performance, on the other hand, was not great in my experience. I am playing on PC with a 2080 Ti and a Ryzen 9 5900X Wambo Cambo, and the game still struggled to stay at 60 FPS. I encountered major frame rate drops here and there and noticed that although it could run at 60 FPS, it much preferred to stay at around 20 to 40 frames per second, especially when zipping around or riding in the moped. I mean, bat cycle. To couple the bad performance with frame rate issues, it also crashed on me a ton. And it crashed. Cool, love that. Let me do anything to it. Unfortunately, and the game crashed. Either don't bother with this game, wait for a massive sale on it, or watch some other sucker play it instead. Hey, I'm a sucker. I play the latest games releasing live Monday through Friday on Twitch if you want to check it out. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe to see more like this in the future. Have a wonderful rest of your night, day, afternoon, whatever time it is in your time zone, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next YouTube video. Bye!